Morning, everyone. Start of another week. It's Monday, the 23rd of January. There's the judge. It's Judge's Jules. 5 horses for your tracker. Now, all you people who thought, they won't do one this week because it's all been fogged off. I said fogged off.
Well, you're wrong. You got that right.
Judge. We are lingering. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, fine, mate. A great start to the week and a poor end, but I think now we've got to crack on, and hopefully by the end of the week there's some really good racing coming in. But let's hope it starts getting a bit milder. I think the best way of describing it.
Yeah. Definitely, yes.
I actually went to Lingfield on Saturday. I was moaning about the sun because you couldn't see the horses as they come into the home straight. It's literally, where are you? And it's not really much fun when you can't see anything, is it, really? We won't talk about Wolverhampton on Saturday night.
Than I did at Wolverhampton, Judge.
Dear, oh dear. Honestly, the game's a joke, isn't it? Oh,
yeah,
never
shocker.
mind.
But anyway, we're back and ready to rumble. I've got 2 horses in Ireland, but I'll let you kick off with your first one, Judge.
Yeah, my first one ran last Monday, and it was one that I tipped up at Wolverhampton. And this horse has been on my radar because I've got it well handicapped from a couple of years ago. Horse is called Aljari, and it ran at Wolverhampton, like I say. It comes second to Follow Your Heart, who was also an eye catcher on his previous run. And I think the two of them finished sort of 3 lengths clear of the rest of the field. But he actually travelled beautifully on this occasion. Turned his own straight, looked the sure winner, and got picked up from one by Follow Your Heart from behind. But if you look at this horse, like I say, a couple of years ago it was rated 90. I'm probably going to go up a pound or 2 for coming second. I don't think there's going to be too much trouble because if you look at his previous 2 runs, he looked actually unlucky on both of those starts. And Tom Clover's horses haven't actually been flying this season, but he's a stable that really, when he gets going, he finds winners after winner. And I do think this horse is one to have in your notebook for its next couple of starts, especially obviously on the all-weather. And for me, I like I say, I think Aljari is one that needs to go in your tracker.
Just spell the name for those that are writing these down.
Yeah, sorry, it does have Aljari. And it ran it ran at Wolverhampton last Monday. I'm trying to think what time race it was. I will get you the race. The 4:55 at Wolverhampton. Right. And like I say, the winner of the race was Follow Your Heart, ridden by that young apprentice, that Billy Loughnane, who's having loads of winners at the moment. And like I say, I do think he just bumped into one there, and it was binoculars back to the rest of the field. And the 2 of them, for me, were both in front of their marks.
Brilliant. Aljari there. Get that in your tracker. Well, I'm going to Ireland for my 2, and it was the meeting at Thurles. Isn't it amazing how they always get raced on in Ireland? I thought it was only like... Great.
Yeah.
Never off, is it?
Yeah.
Very, very good card. 2 races caught the eye. I want to go firstly to the 140, which was the Horse and Jockey Hotel Chase, a grade 2. Now, to say this was an incident-packed race, I think it's very strong form, but there's lots of little subplots. But there is one horse that I do want to get in the tracker. Now, it saw the return of Chacun Pour Soi. Now, I watched this replay last night, and if you didn't know the result, you would have thought halfway around he was like the old horse. But he absolutely ran out of gas. And I just wonder if that's the last time we're going to see him. He faded so tamely at the end. Been a great horse. I just wonder whether they at age 11 will want him to, be an also ran. Will they give it one more go? So if that is the last time we see Chacun Pour Soi, he's been a great horse for Mullins and Richie. Now, the winner was Paquet Dudery. Now, to say he was a fortunate winner, but then you got to jump him. He was booked for 3rd. French Dynamite ended up finishing 2nd. He's ploughed through the last. I have no idea how Darragh O'Keefe has stayed on this horse. He's got rescue of the century, how he didn't fall. But unfortunately, the horse, the horse I'm giving, did fall. But he was so impressive up to then. It's Haute en Couleurs. HAUTENCOULEURS. Mullins, Brian Cooper Road, just obviously, except for the last, he jumped great, better than I've ever seen him jump. And he's got such an engine. I think he's going to be a big festival winner. I'm not sure where. I'm not sure whether it'll be Cheltenham Main-Tree or Punchestown, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to win one of these biggies. In terms of trip, of course, this was 2 Mile 4. You think of races like Ryanair, Judge, or you think of the big 2 Mile 4 chase at Aintree. Of course, the horse has fallen. They were racing hard. He's kind of missed a stride. And really, it sounds bizarre because the horse that stayed up, French Dynamite, if you watch, he actually makes a
worse mistake, doesn't he?
Worse mistake.
Yeah.
And the one he sort of knuckled on landing. It was a funny fall, really. But I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with his jumping in general. He's a very, very athletic horse. And I don't think this will have done too much harm because it was a sort of slide, fall. I haven't checked this morning, but I don't
as long as he's not injured yet. Yeah.
No. Now, will he be too big a price because people will look at the F before, or will they look at the form in general? I mean, Fakir Doudary is a very, very solid yardstick. He was having his first run of the season, so he might have been slightly undercut, but he was well beat by those two. I mean, by definition, you could look at the second as well. I think this has got a big race in it. He's got all the attributes of a Mullins horse. He's obviously very athletic. He sets a really strong gallop. And I could see him, at Cheltenham from 2 out, be one of them horses that's let loose down the hill. All ground seems to come alike to him. Obviously, he's fallen. You can't get away from that. But I'm going to stick him in the tracker anyway. HOLDEN. I don't know if you saw the race, Judge.
I did, mate. I had a financial interest because I did actually like the same form line because I was quite pleased. I'll be honest, I did think Fakir Doudary was going to pick up the horse that made the mistake anyway because he's a battler. I thought he definitely would have finished second at worst. And I didn't expect him to win, but I would have had the forecast if he had done. And it's just one of them things, these things happen. But I actually, I was going to cut a couple of subplots to that. Firstly, obviously, necessarily on that particular race, but I did think Gordon Elliott horses aren't running very well at the moment. I don't know what you thought. He had 3 or 4 horses that they're not running well at the moment. And the other thing I thought was look at last year's Arkle, because HOLDEN ran in last year's Arkle, and we were all saying, if you remember last year, we didn't look the greatest Arkle, did it? You thought, that doesn't. And then Blue Lord's come out of it now, and that's come out and franked the form twice. Brave Siaska, who fell over in the race, that won a handicap by as easy as you like at Aintree. Curse of Blime's run well out of it, but obviously this HOLDEN was a well-beaten 6th behind Edwardstone, and he would have won that quite comfortably. And like you say, that's a Grade 2, but you had Grade 1 horse that actually ended up winning the race. He's very, very solid, isn't he, Fakir Doudary? You could pretty much set your watch by it. So I kind of think the subplot from that would be, start having a look at some of these horses that perhaps, got beat or necessarily won the Arkle for the 2 miler at Cheltenham and 2.5 miler. They might be the ones slightly, the obvious ones. Everyone's saying Allaho and,
If you remember a year ago, Judge, we did the preview, and
that's right.
I know to my financial cost, I thought Blue Lord was an absolute knocking bet. And it's kind of a bitter irony that he sort of proved to be the horse I thought he was. Yeah. It's this year. Now, it's a little bit like Mullins has said that HOLDEN and Blue Lord have come on a ton for the extra year. I find that a bit hard to believe. I don't think horses massively improved to that. I think they were just, for whatever reason, didn't show up really at Cheltenham, or the form is so strong that maybe they did. And Edwardstone
did absolutely bolt up in a Tingle Creek, didn't he? He just obviously fell last time out. So that's what I'm saying.
We thought it was a poor Arkle, didn't we?
Yeah, and you actually have a look at all of the horses that have run out the Arkle. Well, I say all of them. I mean, you've got Edwardstone, Blue Lord, HOLDEN, Coup Sublime's actually run well since, and then Brave Siaska. So St. Sam's not let the form down either. So I think actually, as a race goes, it's better than the Champion Chase itself, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yes.
This is a short price, and I just think sometimes it's it's hard until the date you know what price you're going to be looking at. But it's very hard with these anti-post markets. I don't know what you think, Si. They're killing the game in that aspect. And I've just started looking now to see if anything that is a little bit of value. And I mean, obviously, HOLDEN going to shorten for certain races, but obviously, as long as he's all right, these type of horses that have finished just, like Blue Lords, and they could end up being a little bit of value come Cheltenham time.
Well, Mullins will probably tell you which race he's going for on the Sunday night before Cheltenham.
Yeah, well, there is that to it. Yeah.
Be aware, but I do think he's a Ryanair horse, or even, he's got the pace to go back to 2, I'm sure. So he's my first one, Horton Colours.
Yeah, it was a nice before. It's such a shame because he jumped the fence beautiful, and then it's weird. Yeah. It was just one of them. What can you say and do really? Just one of them things. Did you want me to crack on with my second one, mate?
Why not, mate?
Right, so I was at Lingfield on Saturday, and my last two are both at Lingfield for different reasons. And the last race, I must confess, I did skedaddle out before the last race. And sure enough, the one that I would have looked back won the race, but that's life as it goes. But I was getting to that stage where you couldn't really watch it that properly as well. So, but I've watched the last race back, and I thought there was a massive eye catcher in it. The horse was called Golden Mayflower. He ran into 3:57 at Lingfield on Saturday. The winner was Superden, who I had actually tipped up the time before, and he got picked up by Star Sheba on his previous run. And the two of them actually came first and third. And if you watch Golden Mayflower as they turn into the home straight, he was nearly last. He switches to the wide outside, and he doesn't ask it straight away. And then when he does, the horse takes off, and it finishes second. That was his first run from an 85-day break and wind surgery. So hopefully they now know that the horses can now breathe properly and finish off his race. But blimey heck, that was a massive eye catcher for me because, like I say, the first and third had already come first and second in the race previous. So for me, that's quite a solid line to the form. And I think this will be picking up a handicap shortly on the all-weather. So that's my second one. In my tracker, Golden Mayflower. Going to get the gold medal soon.
Yeah, Golden Mayflower. Excellent. Now I'm going back to Thurles yesterday in the final race. And it's a classic example of, I think, a horse running with another day in mind. It was the Hunter Chase, and it was won by 20 lengths by a horse called Ferns Lock. Only a 6-year-old. Very, very impressive, kept on strongly and asserted. But the horse I liked was the horse that was second, even though he's beaten 20 lengths. A horse called Billaway, trained by Willie Mullins and ridden by Patrick Mullins. Now, this horse at the start of the year was trained, I think, for one race, and that is the Hunter Chase at Cheltenham. I think possibly the winner yesterday was, 100% Cherry Right, massive race in its own way, and a horse that will maybe come to Cheltenham. Afterwards, they were in two minds. But I think Billaway, from what I gather, looked like he really needed that yesterday. I don't think Patrick Mullins was particularly hard on the horse, and I think that run will have brought him absolutely pitch perfect for a day in March. It's only a couple of years ago, Judge, that they were talking about this being a Grand National horse, or even, a Gold Cup horse. That's how highly he was rated. Now, he has a certain injury, hasn't always brought that homework to the track, but I just think aged 11, this race will have put him absolutely cherry ripe. And I do think the Mullins camp, when they put their heads together, did not want this horse to be A1 on the 22nd of January. They want him to be A1 in the middle of March. And Billaway, for me, you'll see a different horse. I thought he looked great. He always jumps well. He just looked like a horse having a much needed run and with another plan in mind. So Billaway is going in my tracker, and I think we will see a much improved performer in about 6-7 weeks.
Well, interestingly, it ran in that race last year and got beat by Wing Leader. And funny enough, they come first and second in the Hunter Chase last year.
We've got evidence about what's going on.
So he's got a bit of previous. Look, it wasn't a 20 length beating really, because he eased him off after the last. It wasn't really 20 lengths. I mean, the horse obviously, there's not much between them on the betting, but I'm guessing he probably would have needed the run. He's never normally bang right first time out. I'd kind of like to see him run one more time to get him absolutely. That's what he did last year before he came there. He had one more run before Cheltenham, just to see him get cherry right. I think he'll be there. Whatever beats him in the Fox Hunters, or I don't know if you call it that now, the Hunter Chase anyway. Whatever will beat him will be the winner, because he'll pretty much, you can set your clock by him. And for me, he'll be like a banker in your play spot or whatever, won't he? But obviously, he's almost certainly going to go bigger in running because of his run style. He looks like he's beaten, then he stays on strongly, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, I like the horse. I think you'd have a solid run for your money, but don't know what price he is anti-post. But I'd be more inclined to back him nearer the time and on the day than I would do anti-post. But he's definitely one you should be thinking about.
Well, if you're having a non-runner no bet, when they're available, Cheltenham Lucky or Yankee, I think he's got
you want to stick it. Yeah, you can. Then that's the one. Yeah.
There's no misunderstandings about where he's going, like there are for so many of these.
He can't run in any other race, can he?
No. But that makes him banker material, doesn't it, for that type of bet?
Oh, he's a lovely. I don't know what price he'd be. Like I said, be a lovely each way double type horse, because you can't kick him out the frame. So anything you stick him in,
And of course, because it's all about what happens on the day, all the thing yesterday, oh, what a disappointment. Oh, I wonder if he's now over the top. Missing the whole point for me. The point was never about yesterday. It's about March.
Of course it is. I mean, crikey. I mean, he just wants a good run yesterday, which is pretty much, it was a good run. There was nothing wrong with it. I mean, look, he is 11 now. He's getting on a bit, but that Hunter Chase is often won by a horse that's older anyway. So I'm not concerned. You know, I've seen 13-year-olds and whatever win that. So it's not
isn't going to be won by pace, is it? It's going to be won by stay.
No, you've got to stay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Bill away for me. I think it's going to be another one for Mullins on Gold Cup Day. Right, Judge, bring us home.
My last one, like I say, I always go slightly left field for my last one. I'm going to back a horse that nearly come last on Saturday. I'm going to put a horse like that in my tracker. I don't know if anyone watched the first race. It's the second race at Lingfield on Saturday. Just better trying to get the right time. It was, he says, I wish my computer was a bit quicker. It's the 12:27 at Lingfield on Saturday. Yeah, that was the one. The horse I'm looking at here is a horse called Hubert's Dream. It started favourite. But it won its previous 3 starts when it stepped into a handicap company, and it's won its first 3 starts off of 63, 69 and then 78. Very impressively. Twice over course and distance at Lingfield. Well, anyone watching the race on Saturday, I don't know what the fractions were like on the TV, but I think he got a little bit of a rush of blood and Danny Muscat. I mean, it was going miles too fast. It was about 5 lengths clear as they turned to the home straight. And, of course, he then run out of puff as they come to the furlong pole. He came 5th in the end, but I don't think that really tells the full story. I mean, if you can really just hold on to this horse's ability from the front and just gradually ease into the lead, I think this horse will be winning again, especially according to its RPRs. It looks like a 90-plus horse to me, and a mark of 86 shouldn't be beyond him in the future. I think he's a nice type. Like I say, he's been progressing throughout his handicaps, been winning. Now he's lost. He looks like he'd be a horse. Oh, he's reached his ceiling now. I can't have that, because the pace it showed there, it literally was 5 or 6 lengths clear about halfway. So he obviously had gone too fast. I think if he holds on to it a little bit more, there's definitely another win or 2 in this horse, because this race often throws up a decent handicapper going forward. And I like Stuart Williams. He's a shrewdy when it comes to getting a handicapper to win a few races. So I'd be surprised if this doesn't win 1 or 2 more races, Hubert's Dream.
Yeah, and that race was another classic example, Judge, of you cannot tear off like that at Lingfield, otherwise you just don't get home.
It's strange, isn't it? Yeah, they just and then you have the other opportunity when they go really slow, and then they're hard to really pick back. So sometimes you can win from the front, but just because it's a 5 furlong sprint doesn't mean you can
sprint for 5 furlong.
It's I've been liking this horse, and it was a tricky race, that race on Saturday, for betting purposes. And the fact he'd been well backed again all the way into favourite, thought they were still in front of their mark. But I just think if he had the ride again, he would definitely been a little bit more conservative in the first 2 furlongs rather than the last.
Yeah, too right. There you go, folks. 5 more jewels. Now, a busy week. Let's hope that racing, I know Fosslas is on today, but let's hope we get a real clean bill of health, because it's Cheltenham on Saturday. So we're building. Please be on to a big day. Now, we'll both be busy all week.
I'm hoping there's one that the meeting tomorrow. I think it's at Leicester tomorrow. I really like one there tomorrow. dying for that to be on. And obviously, we get
Let's
Cheltenham at the end of the week. We need that to be on.
Yeah,
so,
and we're going to be back on Friday night looking at a big TV race for Saturday.
Yes, definitely.
So don't miss that on Friday. So have a great week, Judge. Keep the winners banging in, mate.
Take care of yourself, mate.
Thanks for watching, folks. Get these in your tracker, and we'll see you on Friday. But check out HFC every single day. They're on Big Price Winners. And, of course, there's our star striker, the Judge. Be lucky, everybody.
Be lucky.
HOLDENS. Horses.